eu ia para os sonhos do mundo. Portanto, boa tarde. Eu sou Pedro Pereira, faço bonsai há 44 anos. Neste momento tenho 55, quase 56. E pronto, bonsai tem sido mais ou menos a minha vida ao longo destes anos todos. A minha primeira formação em informática, mas botânica veio depois, a formação em botânica veio a seguir e mantive na parte botânica. Basicamente, eu vou passando aqui um ou outro slide, não vou estar a passar muita coisa, mas eu é só para também ter um ponto de apoio nos assuntos e não me espalhar muito, porque eu sou daqueles tipo de pessoa que começa a falar e espalha-se na conversa até dizer. Mas, se tiverem alguma pergunta, podem fazer. I've heard that some people prefer English. If you want me to speak English, I also can speak English. Basicamente, nesta palestra, vamos falar assim, principalmente entre o bonsai e o bem-estar, ou seja, Bonsai Wellness. O porquê de bonsai ser uma boa ideia para ajudar-nos a desestressar ao fim do dia. Pronto, é claro que quando eu digo bonsai, podemos falar um pouco de outras plantas, algumas plantas mais, outras plantas menos, mas depois, conforme vocês forem vendo, vão vendo que existe aqui um ou outro assunto que acaba por ser mais interessante a nível de bonsai.
Pedro,
sim.
Vocês conseguem fazer isto em inglês?
I can speak in English also.
Yeah.
Yes, no problem.
We have lots of people that will speak Portuguese at work.
Oh, okay. Okay, I will speak in Portuguese, then I will speak in
You're pretending really well.
No problem. My English is a bit stuck because I was away 6 years and never spoken English during those 6 years, but I managed. Today we are going to talk about bonsai and how important is bonsai to our health, and how it can improve our health. Not only bonsai, other plants also, but bonsai it's a little bit different because of several points that I'm going to talk about in a moment. Okay. I start with introduction. My name is Pedro Pereira, 55 anos, 55 years old. I am the creator of Mestre Bonsai, and I also have a store where I sell my bonsai. I also have a channel, a YouTube channel. It's free. All the lessons I teach are over there. I have pamphlets over here if someone is curious to know, but basically it's Mestre Bonsai, YouTube/Mestre Bonsai. Instagram also. Sometimes I put something in Instagram. Instagram is more for telling people, oh, okay, today I'm going to give a lecture. So. Eu comecei a fazer bonsai aos 10 anos. I started doing bonsai at 10 years old. Well, I started before that. Before at 7, it was when I started making bonsai, but I consider when it was 10, it's easier for me to make the calculations, but because that's when I started seriously about bonsai. I had a teacher, Professor Zhu. Professor Zhu it's a teacher that is Chinese. For those who don't know, bonsai started as a Chinese art, and then the Japanese grabbed that art and started improving and giving some rules so the tree becomes something else, not only a tree that, okay, grow at your will and it's a bonsai. But Japanese said no, bonsai has some rules, we are going to talk about it, and improve that art. Tive vários mestres, geralmente eu vou falar mais inglês então, porque na internet já conhecem estas histórias todas, portanto, volto para o inglês. I'm telling that I'm going to talk in English because most of people that know my YouTube channel know that what I'm going to say now. I had several masters like Peter Chen in UK, Graham Potter in UK, Walter Paul in UK, John Acker in USA, Michael Prussiano, USA, Masahiko Kimura, Japan. I have several teachers, but the main teachers that taught me the art as I know it and I like was my professor, Zhu. It was my gymnastic professor. I was a gymnastic athlete and at football court. And he taught me one day, he came to my house, and I had several pots with plants inside, like tangerines, oranges, apples, whatever. And he told me, "Oh, that's a bonsai. You have to improve a little bit, but that's a bonsai." I didn't know what it was. In Portugal, there weren't any bonsai at all. Nobody knew what it was. And that's how I started learning with him, what I could learn with him. So I improved my art at bonsai. Then, when the internet was very, very basic, we needed about 15 minutes to send an image to someone in England or receiving the image, to send an email with today we send an email and tomorrow we will read it. So it was very basic, the internet. And I knew Professor Peter Shen, my second teacher in UK, because I found a book in a library that was from him, and I got completely hooked. I was, whoa, I have to know this teacher. And then I planned what I could plan for a 13-year-old adult kid. And said to my mother, okay, I plan to go to the UK, I'm going to be 1 month in the home of Mr. Peter Shen, learning how to make bonsai. And because I already talked to him, and he said, okay, we have some rooms for the students, you can come, the price is this, and come and work with us. I went there, and he started teaching me, but because he saw that I had a little bit more potential than the others, he told me, okay, let's make an agreement. You work for me during this month, I will teach you, and at the same time, you don't pay anything. So you only pay the travel and be okay here. So that relationship grew from here to here, because next year I was there, the year after that one I was there also, and I learned a lot with him, because it's a more natural bonsai instead of the Japanese bonsai. Chinese bonsai, Mr. Peter Shen, his mother was Chinese, his father was Indian, and so he learned both worlds, and he taught me a lot that I couldn't teach, my teacher, gymnastic teacher, couldn't teach. So I tried to grab the more knowledge I could, something that I always do. I always learn, even with people that could know a little bit only about the subject. And I try to learn what I can with that people. with that person. With Mr. Peter Shine, it was something like that because he has a bonsai store. It's called Heron's Bonsai, and it was growing on that when I was there, and he was offering to the Queen Elizabeth some bonsai for her garden, and he was contract to take care of those bonsai because Japan just gave to Queen Elizabeth a bonsai and nobody knew how to take care of that. So in desperation everyone panicked, and he told me, "You are the one that I can trust a little bit more now." I was 60 by that time. "So please come with me. I will wait that you come here to UK. We go there and we take care of the bonsai. We have to transplant, we have to do a lot of things." So the pressure was very good because I learned a lot, things that I didn't knew by that time.
You met the Queen?
I knew the Queen, but only for a brief moment. When we were working the bonsai, because we worked there, bonsai couldn't go anywhere. Even the bonsai are completely sick. They have a greenhouse, and we had to take care of bonsai there. We had to go there every day to take care of bonsai, and we go home. The next morning we go there again until everything was okay. One of the days I was working, didn't notice that they made the announcement. And I was like this, sorry, I was like this, taking care of a few stuff, and Mr. Peter Shan just knocked me a little bit. "The Queen is here." "Okay, the Queen is here." "Oh, sorry." But it was okay because she talked to me, she made me completely comfortable with the situation. I learned, I didn't have to be as much as,
Formal.
I forgot even the Portuguese word. Sometimes I have this. We are going to talk about that in a moment. But formal, yes, formal. So it was a situation that was funny and okay. I have a degree in botany, labs, laboratory. I work with plants in the laboratories, so I can make insecticides, fungicides, cut paste, everything about plants. I have knowledge enough to make something that doesn't exist in the market. Some cut pastes that I teach in my YouTube channel are available, and I taught completely free how to make that cut paste. So anyone can make it that, only following the steps that I teach in video. So I try to have this exchange of knowledge. I don't like to be the only one with the knowledge to make something. I just love that feedback I can get from the other side, because I learn a lot with that. For example, I made a cut paste that was for a company based on the basics that I taught in the internet, but they don't give any feedback back. Because I give them the formula, I say the components are this, you have to do like this, and you have a cut paste that you can put on the market. But after that, I don't know anything at all. But with the people I give the information and say, okay, you have this cut paste, it's not the same that I give the company, I can do that for a contract, I can give exactly the same product. But you have this, you can do it, it's almost like that one, but I want some feedback. And people generally, they give me a call, no, it's very good. No, it's a little bit sticky or it hardened too much on the tree. What is this? Cut paste when we cut a tree. Something we need to make a cut on the tree. For example, to remove a branch. For example, I remove one here, then after you can come here and see. It keeps that wound open, and that is a problem when we are making bonsai, because fungus and insects can start eating the tree from the inside, and we lose that tree in about 1 year, 2 years. We don't have a bonsai anymore. So we have to think in a way to solve that problem without harming the tree. And we have to use products that don't that are not going to kill the tree. So we have to use natural products like tree wax, stuff like that, and put on the tree and seal it so the tree can close the wound.
The scar can
The scar, it starts closing the tree, that scar, much faster than if we let it grow by itself. So it's about that. I thought I would explain because I was talking.
Nobody knows what is a cut paste.
Yes. Okay, now, why I forget something, because I'm talking in my English, sometimes I'm going to remember, most times I remember the word in English, I don't remember the word in Portuguese. My head is a little bit confusing about that, but I had a breakdown in 2007, and it was I had to sleep for about 3 days to be more or less okay, and even like that, even now, I still have a little bit of things that I forget, stuff I can't remember. I just talk about it, but I don't remember.
You could talk about the 9/11 because
Yeah.
I think people would understand after you talk about that.
Why it happened? First, I worked a lot. I was working from 8 o'clock to 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. most of the times. I was in the United States, New York, since 1999 to 2002. So I went through the experience of the towers falling because I work in tower too. I was working that day. I wasn't working. It was a little bit luck, but I was just in the door of my company when the first airplane hit the tower. Now I can talk about it without crying, but it was very difficult until 7-8 years ago. I had a knot in my throat. Even now, it's not that easy. But so I went through the experience of running away, of helping people. I helped the firemen because I have a course of
CPR.
Search and rescue. So because I work here, I have a course in the Air Force, Portuguese Air Force. I learned about that. And I had to help. I couldn't be there and not helping because they had only a handful of people to help in the almost 1 week until the other firemen from the other states come. So it was a little bit complicated because I was seeing things that for someone that is not trained to, and I'm not a doctor, it is a bit difficult. I'm not going to talk about details, but it's a bit difficult. So that it's like a roller coaster. We go from one hill and we go down and then we go up again, and stuff start going to happen. I have some problems in my personal life by that time, and with work, and I was diving in my work like if my life depended on that, even with bonsai, but I was completely letting bonsai almost by its side. I watered bonsai, but I didn't do bonsai at that time. So it was a hard one. In 2007 I crashed, and it was difficult. It was a little bit difficult because of that. After the doctors put me to sleep, not to die, but to sleep for 3 days, I had to rethink my life and start doing what I was already teaching to my friends, to many people I knew. That was to okay, you can't work too much, you have to do this from a different way, perspective. Here, take a bonsai. Usually I would give to a friend that was difficult, with having some difficulties. I would give a bonsai like this. Okay, you have to take care of this. I'm going to teach you. I will teach the basics, and he was working on a bonsai. Oh, I'm having a problem, I'm going to kill. We come to asking for help, and I'll help him. So that that helped me also to recover from all that. That's why I have a word that I always use my subscribers on the internet always hear me telling this, that patience is when we breathe with the same rhythm of bonsai. Because in nature, things are not as fast as we want to, unless it's a volcano or a hurricane. But in nature, most of things are very quiet. One of the things that if you want to do, it's an exercise I do before I start working on bonsai. It's a breathing exercise. Very, very simple. It's that like you breathe in, you hold your breath 2 seconds, and you let it go slowly. Generally, when you do that, it's like a heavy weight that it was on your shoulders leaves, and you feel that, and you feel that kind of stress energy almost flowing out of your hands. Unless you are like this, but if you are relaxed, you will feel something when you do that. It's something that we forget as modern humans. It's a bit complicated because we try to rush everything. We have to work. And if not working, I have to go see a friend, but I'm already stressed because of the traffic. Or something didn't work okay, I'm with friends, but I'm thinking about my problems, and things are not as they would have to be because we evolve too fast. And one of the worst things that we have made about that is that in the evolution we forgot to be connected with nature. It's important for us to be connected with nature because we always see the gray from the buildings. Not everyone has the luck to see the sea like you do here, but most people in center of Porto, they have every time I go to Porto, I get a little bit angry, and at the same time I get disappointed because trees are vanishing from Porto. The excuse is always, oh, we are going to build a new line from metal. We have to make a new building here. We have to whatever. it's a lot. And they take it down, but they don't grow another one, another place, or take that one and place elsewhere. And we notice that the human being living in that kind of places is getting more aggressive each time. I live in New York, and even if we had a Central Park over there, most people didn't go to school. Most New Yorkers never went to the Central Park in their lives. And some people with 50 years old, I was saying, oh, I'm going to Central Park, I'm going to play with squirrels. And they will say, what? There's squirrels in Central Park? And I was, yeah. And you have plants and stuff like that, and it's autumn and leaves are coming out of the trees and they are falling red or yellow, depending on the tree. But the trees have yellow and red leaves, and I was, dude, you live here. I just came here to work, so it's complicated. So, when I talk, generally when I start teaching someone about something about bonsai, I teach them this, that patience, it's when we breathe with the same rhythm of bonsai. Because it is, the trees have a rhythm. They grow slowly. They don't grow very fast like bamboo. Bamboo is very fast. Bamboo grows about 5 centimeters a day if he has the ideal conditions. But the other plants are not like that. The other plants grow very, very slowly. This tree that you see here is my first bonsai. I started making bonsai with this tree. I have the story of the bonsai in the channel if someone gets interested. It started like that one, a little tree, very little, that my gymnastics teacher gave me, and he told me, okay, you are going to start making bonsai here with this one. So you can't let it die. If you let it die, I'm going to be very upset with you. You have to take care of that. And he taught me that because I was very active. I'm one of those people, it doesn't show a lot, but I'm one of those people, I can't be still. I have to do something. I am at home, I'm resting, but I'm not okay if I don't do something. I have to work on something. I have to go out and water bonsai. I have to go out and put some oil on bonsai just to pull the branch so it gets with a look that it's more bonsai. I have to do something. If I don't do something, I already feel I'm missing something here. But it's now. But when I was younger, I didn't have that responsibility until my 10-year-old, and then I was 10. I was making bonsai, and if it will die, it will die. That's it. I don't have to move more, I don't have to work with that. Okay, I lost. But with this one, I learned about responsibility. And it was what my teacher was trying to make learn. But he also wanted me to learn what I'm teaching here, that I have to be patient. Because in the next day, I will watch my bonsai, and it was just like it was yesterday. And it didn't grow anything. I was looking at it and, dude, what can I do here? I can't understand why isn't he growing. But I also had to learn about the problems. I had problems with the bonsai, and I have to solve those problems. And that's something that you're going to see in a while here. In nature, the tree to grow to be a big bonsai or a small bonsai like that one, but it's only a matter of I'm choosing that tree has to be that size. But we start with a little plant growing, and then when it goes to a size that I can see, okay, I have made some cuttings and stuff, and it grew some branches everywhere. Now I have to decide what do I have to do to make this a bonsai. So I put some wires and try to train it and see, okay, does it look good? Doesn't it look good? And when I see, okay, it has some potential, I put it in a pot, in a different pot. And it goes to something like this. But it doesn't have to be like this, and okay, now you will evolve like that all your life. No, I can put it in another pot so it can have more space for its roots and make it grow and make a bonsai with another kind of look. But from that step to this step, there's a lot of work, and that work, it's what I teach people to do each time they are working with a bonsai, even if it's something like grabbing the scissors and cutting the branches that are too big, because a bonsai, it's about equilibrium, it's about we have to telling this like this. In nature, plants are perfect in the way that they don't have to waste energy, but they try not to lose energy unless they are sick. But they have to use all the energy they can get from the soil, from the sun, to create the sugars, so it can create leaves, branches, new roots. And that is going to make the plant bigger and healthier, but there isn't that excess energy that is stored for something. We humans are the only ones that do that. I start to get a little bit fatter because of that. So I store a lot of energy, but I'm not spending it, so I get fatter. But in nature, that doesn't happen. They are perfect because they use the energy that they have, but if they have too much energy, they are going to use it to grow bigger, because the objective of a tree is to be the bigger one in the garden, to be the wider one in the garden, so his children, let's talk about like that, so his children be the ones that will survive in the woods. So if we are in a forest and we have about, I don't know, 100 trees like this one, they are only competing for space. So the ones that are stronger, the ones that grow higher, they are the ones that will survive. The other ones will die. But that energy of them dying, it's not lost, because the other trees are going to get the rotten trunk leaves and stuff to use it as energy so they can grow bigger, because it's about genetics. The one that has better genetics, it's the one that will survive. So sometimes we have a tree. Right now, we have a tree that it was a survivor until now, because like ginkgo biloba, almost everyone knows ginkgo biloba, but ginkgo biloba was extinct. We only knew ginkgo biloba from fossils, and we were looking at that until the 90s, and it was a tree that was in the Jurassic, but there's no more. And suddenly they found it in mountains in China, in a place that they were there, and they didn't evolve in the in the sense of different leaves, different stuff, but they will grow from a terrain that could give them a lot. So they evolve in getting energy from other places that they weren't only the dirt where it was grown. So, for example, ginkgo biloba, the leaves are green because of an algae. No other tree or plant does that. That's the only one that does that. It agreed with an algae, so they are symbiotic, and if we don't have that algae in the ginkgo biloba will die. It gets yellow, sorry, it gets yellow and will not survive. But with the algae, it can survive. If a ginkgo biloba dies in that area where they grew, the algae will grow in the dirt because almost immortal, not immortal, but almost, and it will find another one, and it will associate itself to the other ginkgo biloba. Why I'm telling this? Because of that, nature is perfect. There is no spending energy or they are not using more energy than the one that it is needed. So, when we humans try to make better, more and stuff, I agree that we have to evolve, but we are evolving too fast for us. More and more people are having problems like I had. More and more people have breakdowns. Some people can't handle with that and get suicidal. So it's a little bit complicated. And sometimes it's as easy as the person gets a hobby, but if it's a hobby that makes the person to stay at home and do nothing else but, for example, collecting stamps, it's a hobby. It distracts his mind, but it's closed. It doesn't get any sun, because the sun will ruin the stamps. So he has to have some kind of light, and he has to have a place to store that stamp. So he gets closed in a place that it's not very good for the person, because we need sunlight to make our vitamins work better on our body. So when we close ourselves in apartments, in our work, on our streets, but we don't even see sunlight. In New York, most of my way, I changed the way I was going to work. I was waking up 1 hour before. I live 15 minutes walking from my doorstep to the doorstep of my work. It was about 15 minutes if I had to stop at traffic lights on foot. But if I didn't, it was about 7-8 minutes I was on my work. And I changed that to take a little longer, because the place I was going, there was no sun at all. I knew that it was daylight because I would look up and the sky was blue. If it was black, it was night. So the problem was I couldn't live like that. So I started going the long way around, so I could at least see something different, to see trees, to see other stuff, because that job was a bit demanding, like yours. I had to deal with persons, with people that were as unhappy with a lot of situations like I was, trying to solve problems at computers, like the other person didn't knew and was frustrated. So we have to deal with that also. And I learned that I couldn't make their problems my problem. That's one of the things I learned about help desk. It's help desk. I have to help the other one, but I have to be okay to help the other one. Because if I'm irritated, I have problems, I'm going to say, dude, just turn the computer around. You just have to push that button. And the other person will say, okay,
Computer says no.
it works. And you hang up. Oh, okay, give me a note. -1. I didn't like the way you talked to me. Because it's like that. And sometimes it's difficult. I mean, most of you know, because we are talking to another person, and the other person has problems and doesn't know how to deal with them. So it's frustration with frustration growing up, and it's complicated. That's why when we are doing bonsai, we learn that we cannot be as violent with a bonsai as we are with the other human beings. Because if we do stuff the hard way, the bonsai will break. We will never have a bonsai. We will have a problem in our hands. It will have less leaves, it will be dying, it will have problems, it will not be growing. We look at him and its leaves are turning yellow, then are going to turn brown, and we are panicking, and we are worse than when we began. So, if we do the things slowly, and we don't need to be taking care of a bonsai a lot of time each day. We only need about 1 minute a day to make our bonsai that we have at home. Only 1 minute a day to keep it alive. Only that. We go next to bonsai. I came home. Okay, let me see. Okay, dirt is moist. It's okay. I don't need to water. It's winter. Tomorrow is going to be the same. It's cold. It's moist. So I will keep it like this. But I get home, okay, today I have to water bonsai. I take the bonsai, put on the kitchen and water the bonsai a little bit more, wait for water running out, and okay, I'm going to put the bonsai over there. But it was about 5 minutes about that, and the influence of that 5 minutes for the bonsai, it's a lot, because it's going to be alive. And for us, the influence of that is that we are taking care of something green. And the human being evolved in the presence of the green. We cannot be without green. One of the things they made some tries to replace this green with artificial green. In the offices, they painted the walls green, the chairs are green, the tables sometimes are green. They try everything. They even try to change the lights to frequencies that imitate how the sun gets into the plant and reflects to our eyes. They try to replace that with the lamps that do that. But it was not the same. People still were stressed, still had problems, and it wasn't working. And one day a botanist said like, okay, why don't we have plants in the office? Oh, it's not efficient. We have to water that every day. Whatever. And he said, yes, that's what people need. Just put some plants there. In the reception, put next to the workers. Even if they don't have to do anything, just have to look at it, and someone will have to do that. Even that, like that, they will be happier. Okay, I'm going to try. And it worked. That's why there is a lot of companies that have plants inside, because they know about those studies. And they are trying to evolve in that green presence, because they really need it. We can't live without it. And we see that some countries that have more gardens are more civilized than the ones that don't like the green. For example, we admire the Japanese culture because they are very calm. They do stuff, and they look more intelligent, even if they aren't, but they look more intelligent. They work harder, but why? If they go into their work, they will go through a lot of gardens. In the city, they have a lot of places where they sell this. The person doesn't need to buy one, but all the way they have. There's a place in Japan that is a street that across aquele lugar mais
Cruzamento.
é o cruzamento, mas é aquele que é aquele maior, esqueci do Shibuya.
Acho que é.
There's a place, I think it's that, Shibuya. There's a lot of buildings around across streets crossing, and it got bigger and bigger. They didn't plant anything in the middle because it wasn't efficient. But one thing we noticed is that all around there's not trees, but all the companies and all the houses have trees on the sidewalk. When I went there once, I was completely amazed because they were taking care of the trees. It was 5 in the morning, and most workers were trying to water the bonsai a little bit and trying to keep it okay to be outside, even if there was a lot of people going by and bumping in the tree and stuff like that, but they were trying to make it alive. And that little bit of interaction with the plant was enough for them to be healthier. They were not as stressed as co-workers that didn't care about nature. And the ones that don't care about nature are the younger ones. At Japan, it's a problem because the oldest ones, they do stuff a little, or did stuff a little bit different, and the younger ones, they only want to work, they want to win a lot of money, they want to be the better at their job, so they can be recognized and win more money. And it's a roller coaster of that. But then we have the other side. They start having problems, mental problems, health problems, and they don't know why. And the hospitals are completely full. And generally it's because of that. Just a little bit to walk away from that subject. I have a few points just to inform. Bonsai, it's not a species. Bonsai, it's a plant. Generally, it's a tree or bush that's used to make a bonsai. I've made a joke here. This is bamboo, and it's not considered bonsai because bamboo is from the grass family. At all points, it is a grass. It's recognized for botanists as a grass. But I made something that looks like a bonsai. But it's because I always do that. All these years, I usually would grab a plant that no one would ever think to make a bonsai about it, and I will grab it and I'm going to make it look like a bonsai. And I'm going to see what the others will say about it. Generally, I would go to an exposition or to a contest and would bring the new plant. Once I grabbed a potato, a sweet potato that grew a lot of branches, I cut a lot of them, but it looked like a bonsai. The potato was the trunk, and then it has some leaves, so it was cool. But just didn't thought it was funny because it was in Spain, and they took it very serious. You are making this a joke, and bonsai it's not a joke. And you are playing with stuff that will not be recognized as bonsai. And but I didn't thought this was a bonsai. I made this as a joke. Exactly. So people would look at it, look at that, and say, I can do a lot with the vegetables or the green and be happy with it because I like it. But it's a joke. I know it's not a bonsai, but rules are rules. But okay, we don't have to be that serious.
But for example, when you take when you do a bonsai of orange tree, like the one you had before, like small, it's a bonsai.
Yeah, yeah. Because it's a tree. Oranges. We can make bonsai of orange trees, apple, olive, whatever. It's a tree. We can make a bonsai with that. Sometimes,
in all the cases, you get like small fruits, like
no. Sometimes we don't, us who do bonsai, we don't do it because some species are a lot more sensitive and will die. So we don't even try. Unless you are like the other one, and like the challenge. Generally, I can keep a tree alive for a very long time, even if people say, oh, just let it go. Give up. That's not funny. But I was trying. Some people think also that if I have an apple tree, a bonsai apple tree, for example, that size, that one, the apples will grow very small. No, fruits will always be big. The tree is efficient. So what it needs to do, I'm going to give a fruit, I'm going to give flower, the flower is going to be pollinated, and after there's going to be a fruit. That fruit has to have seeds inside. So the seeds are the survival of that species. And if that apple is smaller, it means that his children will be smaller and will not be as strong as the other ones, as contests.
I saw you with the small oranges.
Yeah.
Small oranges.
What happened? There is species that they are already small. There is, for example, I did brought one because at this time of the year there is no fruits at all. But I have apple trees that apples are about 2 centimeters in diameter. They don't grow more than that. It's like that. Orange, same thing. There is oranges that grow only like that. They technically are not oranges. They are citrus, but they look like oranges. But it's a species. That's a wild species that grows only that size. And even the seeds, that's the way the tree behaves. Those trees that give smaller fruits, they give a lot of fruit because it's a survival species. More than half will not be able to germinate and grow as a tree, but if only a percentage can grow, it's already a win for the tree. So it gives a lot, so it can grow elsewhere. The pine trees, they grow taller than everything, and we see pine cones like this, but inside that, all those seeds inside that we can like to eat. But because of that, it gives a lot of them, because squirrels, rats, whatever, they all want to eat that seed, and they will eat that seed. But one or other seed has to grow somewhere. It will be covered with leaves and will be hidden and will grow into another tree. So it gives a lot of it. That's a subject. If someone is interested, it's almost a tiny classroom, and it's subject for a lot of time. One of the things I teach is you don't have to be afraid to make bonsai. Most people are afraid because they had a bonsai and bonsai died. Most of the things I hear, before we start, there was 2 ladies that came here. Oh, you're going to talk about bonsai, shame, I can't be here now, I would like to hear about it. Like that. I had a bonsai, and I thought, yeah, indeed, died. You know, yes. Uh, what happened mainly, it was you were submerging the pot to water bonsai. She looked like me, like that, but didn't told anything. And the next thing I saw, I told was, you put it in the sun, completely in the sun. And she said, yes, you. Because they teach you that the trees need sun, but the bonsai, the universe of the bonsai, it's the pot. The most important thing about the bonsai, it's not its leaves, it's the roots. If it has healthy roots that can grow and can propagate, this thing above the earth, in the dirt, will be mostly healthy. But if the roots are not healthy, are dying for some reason, there's going to be a problem. And a lot of places, they don't even know how to tell people, okay, you only need to take care, not put this on the sun, but it needs light, a lot of light. So, for example, my first bonsai, it never knew what was to be inside, unless I'm doing something like this. But to live inside, it never did, because the species doesn't allow me to put it inside. And the first thing people want is to grab a pine tree and put it inside. Pine trees are resin trees, and resin trees don't like to be inside. It's a rule. They don't like. They will not survive. For example, the air conditioner, it's a no-no for plants. That's why we don't see this plant in the offices. But we can see like this one. It's a ficus. Ficus microcarpa, and he is a lot resistant because he is a plant that lives in tropical weather, and because of that, it's prepared kind of to live in ambients that are closing. The good thing about the ficus this was why I brought this one, is that is more resistant to be inside than the other trees to come inside, because in the place where his origin is, he was used to grow in a shadow, because the seeds of when he was like that, a little tree, he had to grow on the shadow of all the other trees in the forest. So he has to take advantage of the little bit of light, sunlight, that could go reflect on the leaves of the other ones, or the trunks, or for some reason at midday there was a sunlight that goes directly to him, whatever. He had to take advantage of that. So it's a tree that evolved in the presence of very low light. That's what happened in offices. For example, this one, if the light was this one, artificial one, it would be okay. But this one will die. But in 1 month, it will be all brown and die. There were no solution for him. But this one, we don't mind at all. So the evolution of the species are very interesting in that way. That's why for some places we have to advise correctly and tell, okay, you have to take this plant for this place, but you can't do that on the other place. For example, here I see palm trees, and immediately the thing I noticed, they are getting brown on the points of the leaves. That's because of the air conditioner, because they are here inside. And if it's not water, it will die in very little time. But they are very resistant, almost like the ficus, but not as resistant. They will have problems. But if we see that one over there, the only thing that might happen when it starts getting leaves brown, it's because the sun at sunset will be getting on her a lot sun, but if it doesn't have enough water to evaporate from the leaves, it will die. So with water, it's a balance. We need to know how to balance things. It's like us. We need to learn how to balance ourselves. Bonsai doesn't need to be perfect. Most people have a problem about what other people will say about what I have. I never had a problem with that. I would go to contests, I would go to another country with one of my trees and was listening to the other contest. He's going to compete with that one? It's crazy. That's not a bonsai, he just let it grow. He didn't do anything about that. And then I knew who judges were, because I studied. Who are the judges? Who are going to give me the points and stuff like that? And they would go, oh, good work. It must be. It might have been hard to do this kind of work in this plant, and the others will be. I don't understand, because as humans have that thing that we have to make the others like us. We don't have to make the others like us. We have to behave like I don't care. And it has to be like that. I have my tree, I'm happy with it. You are not happy, you make one. And make it like you want it to be. Most people give up doing bonsai because someone going home and say, you have one of those karate kids tree. Dude, in my times, it was a problem. Because until I was 18 years old, the other guys, if were going to my home, they would see a lot of trees, because I had about 100 of them. And they would see like that, and they say, you must be a sissy, for sure, because you like plants, that's for girls. You men don't like plants. And then I will only say, but bonsai are made by ninjas, are made by samurais. It's a Japanese art. And they are the only ones that can make the bonsai. They don't let their wives make the bonsai. They can water bonsai, but they cannot cut leaves and twist the branches and stuff like that. It was like that. Now everyone does bonsai, and it's better than that way. But it was like that. It was a matter of respect. It's a way they would be away from wars, away from their work. They had a bonsai to take care, so they wouldn't go crazy about everything, because most of them would go to war to die. They wouldn't have a chance at all, because we know how movies are, that samurai movies. Yeah, and it was like that. It was very violent. So they had a tree to make their head think on another thing. That's what we need now, because we want to work a lot, and we only think, and we get home from work, and we sit at the computer, or grab our mobile phone, and we will be sitting on the living room or the room, or on computer and seeing something, learning something. It's good, but we were all day working, and it's a problem. Okay, fast. So, we have a lot of rules in bonsai, but it's about that. If you like your work, just let it go. I already talked about too much gives bad results, because in nature it's an equilibrium. Cutting the tree too much will kill the tree, so we cut enough to make the tree look like we want. Too much water will kill the tree, the roots will go rotten. If we will spray the leaves, the true leaves will fall, because we are diluting the properties of the leaves. They are not ready. It's not an aquatic plant. It's a plant that lives above water. Fertilizer. If we put a lot of fertilizer because we want the tree grow faster and taller, too much fertilizer will kill the tree. It will burn the roots, so chemical burn. So we will lose the tree. That's a matter of equilibrium. We have to equilibrium. So, about mindfulness. The benefits of bonsai are a lot. I've been talking about them, but I just put some points here about mental. For example, when we are doing bonsai, we learn. It's one about the things about mental. We learn how to take care of the bonsai, and that gives us a challenge because this species is different from this one, and this one is different from this one. That it's different from that one. So I have to learn a lot about the species of the plant. Me as a botanist, I have to learn a lot so I can teach the others. But for someone that wants to make bonsai, have 1, 2, 3 bonsai, it's not that of a challenge. But it's good because the person will learn how to do things in a different way. The other one, it's problem solving. Problem solving, it's something, it's a challenge. And for mental illness, it's something interesting because our mind works in a different way. It's not the problem solving of another person in the computer. It's the problem solving of a species. I don't know. Let's talk here. Bonsai has a lot of yellow leaves. We are in winter, it's outside, yes. It's cold, yes. Okay, what is the species of bonsai? For example, ulmus. Okay, that's the one. It's there, it's called ulmus. If it was outside, most of the leaves would be gone because it's a species that loses the leaves in winter. So the person, with the help of another person, that I'm going to be talking about this in a while, had a mental challenge of solving the problem, and it learns how to solve the problem. It's a different thing. It's not always the same thing. That was cost me in 2007 my mind at that point because I was too obsessed about my work, and my mind just crashed. It was too much. That and sleeping, only a little. Creativity. To make a bonsai, it's not only, okay, from there to here, it will grow without touching it. No, we have to make this. We have to pull the branches to a position that imitates the big trees in nature. Because this that we have here, it's an imitation of nature. We are trying to make the tree that is young to look like a very old tree in nature. It's not a big of a challenge like that one, just let it grow, or this one, only a little bit of work. This one is a young one, but I want one that looks like a very old tree, and to look like that, we have to make the branches that grow like this because we tie the leaves and branches are too heavy, and the bonsai has to curve their branches. And it looks older because of that. But it's only something that we observe in nature, and it challenges our creativity, and it challenges the way we think, we see the bonsai and the trees. Spiritual. Taking care of a bonsai, it's almost like a meditation. Most of times I have that one-to-one, me and a student, I'm teaching a student, and we are working in a bonsai. And the student is doing something, putting wire, for example, in one branch, and I'm in the other one, and I put the branch and I'm cutting stuff, and I just disconnect. He's talking to me, and I just disconnect. I can't do that, but most of the times it happens with me because I'm so concentrated in what I'm doing. Basically, it's almost like a meditation, and I'm not thinking about anything else. I'm only thinking about that. I'm only, okay, I have to curve this branch, but only enough not to break. I have to be very careful to curve it that way. If I do this way, will it break? No, maybe this way it's better. And I'm completely absorbed. My mind will only think about the work I'm doing. So mentally, it's very good, but spiritually, it's meditation basically. Because meditation, it's not thinking about anything else that it's worrying us from the day. So when we think on bonsai, we are thinking on bonsai. Even if we are only watering and taking some grass that is growing on the pot, or seeing if there is some brown leaves on one side, or I might have to cut some leaves here. Something like that. It's enough taking care of bonsai. It's almost like taking care of a cat or a dog, but it will not talk back. It will not react immediately. So we have to be pay more attention. Harmony and inner peace. This kind of work makes her more calm, makes her more aware of ourselves. It's not uncommon to be working on a bonsai and thinking not on problems but on ways that I can improve myself on the day that I'm having. Something like, oh, I talked to my wife this way, I might have to take care of that. I can't be doing that. Because I'm nervous, because it's too stressful, or I'm thinking about other stuff. So I'm working on bonsai, but not something that it's more demanding for bonsai. It's only that watering and stuff like that, and I'm thinking about something else. Emotional. Okay, emotional. We have responsibilities. We have to take care of the bonsai. So, we get that sense of responsibility growing a bonsai because we have to keep him alive. So, emotionally, it's a challenge. It's not too much of a challenge, but it's something we can handle. Self-esteem. The progress of taking care of a bonsai gives her a response of self-satisfaction. From a little tree to a tree almost like this, we can see the result, and we will be more happy about the bonsai. We'll say, whoa, it only needs to go to a pot and will be a bonsai, and we are happy about it. So we have that self-esteem. Emotion stabilizations. Basically, because you are quiet, you are working with the bonsai, and you are trying to make it alive all the time and stuff like that. You have some stability in your emotions because you are not angry most of the times. If you are angry, you are working with a bonsai. You have to do that at the top. Breathe in, 2 seconds, breathe out, slowly, and okay. Will I be able to work the bonsai now? No. Let it be. Tomorrow I will do something with that. Because if we are working a bonsai and we are angry, we'll notice that we are going to break branches, we are going to ruin our bonsai, and when we notice, okay, I have a lot of problems now, I don't know what to do now. Okay. Social. there's a connection when we do bonsai because we get together, we talk with each other, we take, if we have problems with our bonsai, we have another person saying, oh, yeah. So there's that connection to solve the problems and stuff like that. So it's okay. Developing bonsai makes us make this social interaction with each other that makes us stronger as a community. So we learn together how to get a step higher on that kind of knowledge to make my bonsai a little bit better, or just curious about what I can do with bonsai and stuff like that. Ambiental. It's self-explanatory. Ambiental.
15 minutos, que era depois isso era.
Yeah, tá mesmo aqui. Ambiental, because we make bonsai, we start to be aware that in nature we are going on walks and stuff like that, and we see in nature plants that we want to copy as a bonsai. So we are learning that that tree is important even for that, not only for our oxygen, not only for our visual wellness, but also as an ambiental importance. So we respect more nature. Again, a new way of looking at nature. Basically, we have planetary health because we learn that it's important to keep the trees alive, so we have a better life also. Physical. We see bonsai, we go in our walks, we want to see nature and copy those trees to make trees for ourselves. So, we start walking more because we want to learn more about those trees, basically. So, that's the end. Patient is when we breathe with the same rhythm of bonsai. And it's completely true. When I was thinking about that, when I first thought this phrase, it's completely that way because we have to be quiet, we have to be thinking on bonsai, and we have to be patient because if not, we are going to keep the bonsai. So we want to keep our bonsai alive. So when we breathe in, we think about bonsai and we breathe out quietly. It's like the bonsai living. They are very slow in nature, but they are very steady. So we have to learn that steadiness, let's call it, it's important for the bonsai development. So that's it. If you have any questions, please go ahead. No problem, just ask. This one is not a bonsai. It's called kusamono. Kusamono, it's a plant that it's a companion for bonsai. Sometimes when we are in contests, we have the bonsai and we have a kusamono next to him. But if we take the kusamono, we see that bonsai needs something there. Something is missing there.
Okay.
It's a companion. It's your attention to the bonsai cannot be only for the bonsai, because if you look at the bonsai, you will see all the faults that it has. You don't have to see the faults on the bonsai. You have to see the bonsai as a whole, as a tree, as a development that has, for example, this one since 1975. It's been trained to be a bonsai. It has a few problems because I was away 6 years. So, for example, the branches that are lower, they should be bigger than the ones that are higher. Because in a tree, that's what happens. That's the way we see adult trees. So now I have to train the tree to be a bigger tree, to make it look better. So
But
that's the
how can you do that right now? After you have the tree like that, and you want the branches on the lower hand to be bigger. How to do that? How can you do that?
Yes. One of the things that happens in nature is that if we have more light getting to the branches, they grow healthier. So the branches that were lower, they didn't grow as faster and as big as the other ones because they had less light during all this time. So these ones that were getting more sun or more sunlight indirect, they were getting bigger because that's the way the trees work. The trees want to be bigger because the ones that will be here, if they grow bigger than this one, they will kill this one because it will remove the sun from it. Without the light, it will not grow. So the branches behave just the same. The branches grow bigger on top than the ones that grow here. So I pulled the branches down with this kind of tension cords or with these wires that I opened like
Yeah.
I forgot the word. I opened because if it's all together, it's not efficient, and I need more leaves here. So what I did was to open so it grabs more sunlight, and with more sunlight, the sprouts will grow around here, and it will have more leaves. With more leaves, it will grow faster. For example, this one, all these 6 years, it grew a lot. It looks like almost like it was the continuation of the trunk, but the continuation of the trunk was this one that it's here. This was a branch only, but because the sun will grow, will show up there and will sunset over there, it had more light here than here. So it grew bigger and fatter than the other ones.
So probably one of the things when you are you need to change the sunlight direction or the
Exactly. Most of the times I do that. For example, this one now it's on the shadow almost.
Yeah.
This side of the bonsai I just turned, but ideally it's to make what I did with this one. I change every week. I change the position. I turn it 180 degrees. So this side will get sun, the other side will get sun, and it has an equilibrium. Because in nature, what happens is the tree grows where it has light. The other side will always be the ugly side. But in bonsai, this is the bonsai universe. It's the pot, so we can turn it. And the bonsai universe, it's amazing for the tree because now I can grow everywhere and I don't have to worry about the way I grow.
What is the easiest plants to start if you want to start?
The easiest plants to start are ficus. The ficus microcarpa. It's the easiest one. It grows on the office without any problem. Then after this one, I made some cheating here. They are not all the same species. The first two are ligustrum. The first one and the second one are ligustrum japonicum, and ligustrum japonicum looks like this one, but they are our trees. They grow on our country without problem. Ficus came from India and stuff like that, and Lower China, and that one is also very resistant. The Ligustrum sinensis, it's the one most known because the leaf is as big as that one. That one is a Nubus parifolium, it's the third in position. It is very resistant to have at home. Every tree I'm talking about can be placed inside home without any problem. There is also another one, it's called Cerisa Fuetica, that gives a lot of flowers, little flowers like 5 millimeters, and it's called the tree of the 1,000 stars because when it starts showing the flowers, they grow a lot, and they will be flowering from spring until winter, always flowers. And if it's pollinated, it gives a little seed, like seed that we can plant, but that's another thing. But those are more resistant to have inside the home. But to have outside, we have the olive trees, pine, chamasiparis. This one is called chamasiparis or tuzanana. It has a name, funny name. Obtusa, because it grows like this, like feather. It's a way that it grows. It always do that. And nana because it's lower than the others, the chamasiparis that are grown in nature. And it grows like these leaves, like if it's a fan. It always like fan, in that case. And it imitates very well. But it doesn't survive inside oil. So the ones that do, it's ficus, it's the first one, it's more resistant. We see it in offices all the time, and we see it selling everywhere. Even if it's not a bonsai, it's a bush that they put in the corner, and most companies have one somewhere. Now there's a tendency to have a yucca, that's one below over there, behind the board. But yuccas like water. This one is bone dry. And these ones, they are palm trees, but they are the family from acai. And they don't like a lot to be inside, but they don't mind also. So most companies are betting on those. But they start to have a lot of sprouts around it because they don't like the place they are. So they are trying to make their children away from that pot because that's what they know. But if they were planted in the ground, the children will be already away, very, very away, because the roots will be running away from that place. It's too dry and has too much sun, and the plant tries to have some efficiency, so it tries to run away from that.
What happens if you take a bonsai from the pot and you plant it like in the garden? You will stop being a bonsai, but will it grow faster or grow more? Or?
Yeah. One of the things that we learn is that a plant will always grow bigger than a bonsai if we plant it in a garden. That's a rule. It will happen. Then, if we have a bonsai, if I take my bonsai and I plant it in the garden, it will be a tree with 4 or 5 meters because it's this species that grows only that. But if it's a ficus, I remove the wires, only let it grow. It will be a tree with about 15 to 20. It will happen. If we want, we can plant in the garden without a problem. I have an example that I had a bonsai, a pine tree bonsai, it's called Buga pine, and my mother thought it would be interesting because of his size. It was this size, and I have a pond, and she thought, okay, I'm going to plant it here, Bill will not mind, and it will grow here, and it will be okay. It grew to a tree that has 35 meters high, and it's cracking the pond. I don't have fishes there anymore because it cracked the pond open, and the roots are growing everywhere because it's a tree, and it's going to where it can. So it grows a lot, and it did that in about 9 years and a half. it grew a lot, a lot. The first year we will almost don't see any growth, but second year the plant grows about 1 meter for a month. We see it growing, and will be very, very thin. And when it reaches about 7, 8, 10 meters, it starts to swallow the trunk because it has a lot more to eat. So the trunk will swallow, will be bigger to support the tree. And after that, it's about 2 years to do that. After that, the tree will grow very, very fast. It will swallow more, even more, and will grow even bigger until there's a genetic stop. We call it a genetic stop, it's not. In reality, the roots and the leaves are what say to the tree what it can grow. A bonsai can live, for example, my bonsai, if my descendants take care of it like I do, it can be alive for about 3,000 years if they keep taking care. But in nature, it will be alive about 100 years, not more. Why? Because the distance from the roots, the bonsai, when we transplant a bonsai, we take out the thicker roots and we will keep the thinner roots. And the thinner roots are the ones that feed the bonsai. The bigger roots will only support the tree. She only needs that to be on the field, and if it's a windy day, she can dig around like that and don't go anywhere. But in a pot, the bonsai doesn't need that. So we keep the thinner roots, and we remove the thicker ones. Only if we want, I have hidden the ones I have here because I'm training the roots again. And but it has a few roots like this. That's the one we will see that they are grabbing the dirt like this to look like a very old tree. But from now it will be like this. But in nature, the roots, the thicker roots, will always grow bigger and in a distance that goes until it can't grow anymore. And the leaves will grow higher and higher and higher. So, if we don't have thinner roots below the trunk and only have that far away, this is a root, those are the thinner roots, and I'm the bonsai. If this distance is too high, very far, too much far, for the water and nutrients come all the way here and go high to come to the leaves, it will start to die back. The leaves will turn brown and it will die for about a few meters, and the roots, because it didn't, it don't have to feed these ones that died, the roots are going to grow a little bit further. So this, because they are going to, there's more energy, they grow further to get nutrients and water, then these ones will also die, and the tree will die until here, until there's no leaves at all. When there's no leaves at all the tree will die. So it's called a genetic death, but it's not, it's the growth of the tree. But generally they make some kind of, they get about 10,000 trees, pine trees. Okay, how old those were? Oh, medium age, about 1,000 years. Okay, they only live until the 1,000 years, but it's a lie, because there's in nature, because there's rock all over, the roots cannot grow further, and those trees will be almost like a bonsai. They always be like that. The root died there, so the plant grows another roots next to the trunk before that one died. And it always have replacement, and they grow a little bit longer, let's say 2,000 years. But a pine tree in bonsai can go 10,000 years if we can. There's not trees as old as that now, but there's trees that are about 3,000 years taking care of several people in Japan, taking care of them. They are in museums, they are being taken care for specialists, so it can be alive until they can.
What is the oldest bonsai that you heard of?
The oldest one, it's a bonsai that it was, the bonsai already were, it was a Japanese bonsai. It survived the Hiroshima atomic bomb because one of the walls of the nursery it was had fell on top of him with the blast, and it was what it saved him, because if it wasn't alive. But it has about 2,700 and something, 35, 36, I don't know how it is now, but it's something like that. But there were before that, according to some papers, because Japanese write everything. They write the story of the tree. I try to make it the same thing, but they wrote everything about that tree. And the documents that survived, there were trees they talked about that were 4,000 and something years, 4,100 and something years. So it's something amazing. They have everything written that it starts from a seed, garden and whatever, made this and this. And when he was this size, he cut to make the branch go to the other side and stuff like that. They write everything. I don't write everything, but I write, for example, the story of some of the problems the tree had, because I'm learning with the tree. This one, I almost lost it for twice, because I had a fungus problem. And the first time I was in the beginning of the university, at Botany University, and I talked to my teacher, an English teacher, and he told me, there's no cure for that fungus. You will lose the tree. And I told him, no, I cannot lose the tree. No, there's no cure for that. It's a fungus, it is too aggressive. And most trees will die. If they don't die, most of it will die. But that in nature, in bonsai, it will die. There's no chance it survives. I have a picture almost of that. It has almost no leaves. It's big, and it has only a little bit of leaves. And I sit at the lab, I study the fungus, and I found a cure for it. So I have that written, and the formula for the cure and everything like that. That the university sold to a company. Most of the people that cultivate around the world are using that formula to save. Well, they change a little bit because of the species. This species is different from this one. They have to change a little bit. But the main formula for the fungicide, it was made by me because I was desperate. I don't want to lose this one. And the next time, it was because I forgot the tree on the sun, and it was bone dry. I didn't have a way to save because it was a problem. So I built an aquarium around the tree, and I inject humidity, but by pressure. I got a cylinder. And the cylinder was injecting air. At the same time, it was pulverizing water on the tree, and that water it was completely clean water, not distilled, but a different water with vitamins and stuff like that. And the pressure made the water go into the tree, even if it was not working. That's why you see some points here. They were branches I lost because of that. We will see some spikes. It was because of that. Those branches didn't survive at all. So I made the tree restart like if it was cardio jumper. Ok, no, you can't die now. You have to restart. Se vocês quiserem vir até aqui, ver aqui, mexer, estejam à vontade. Eu tenho as ferramentas também. I have the tools also. The tools I use to work with bonsai. Most of the time, to have a bonsai, you don't need more than a scissor. Because we have a bonsai, it's going always growing. People are afraid of cutting branches that grow too much. Because they say, oh, poor tree, I'm going to cut. But if you don't cut, it will be weaker and weaker and weaker because the branch will grow and the place where the roots are growing in a small space. So it's that thing of the distance, we will have a problem. But if we cut the branches that are too big, we solve some of the problems, including fungus, insects, because insects like the growth. We only let the plant grow what it needs to grow to be as aesthetical, as pleasant as possible. And that's something that we learn every time we are working with a bonsai. We notice that the bonsai has a style. If we let the style grow after that, more than what it used, it starts to look like it's abandoned, it's something that's not working there. But the art of bonsai, it's not doing that, and don't let the tree evolve. If we go to my YouTube channel, you will see that I have the story of this one. I have several videos of this one, the evolution, and the tree evolved and changed several times from the way it looks, because bonsai, it's not like working on sculpture, it's not working on a rock, it's not like a painting and no one can touch it anymore. Bonsai, it's always working, growing. Yeah, because it's always growing, it's an art that's always changing. And this one looks like this now, but in 10 years I might go here and say, okay, I don't like this part here, I'm going to push this one up, and this will be my new top, and then I will make a completely change of the tree. For example, bonsai has several styles. This is one of them. Then there is another, this is another style. There's one that is called like a sweeping broom style, that if we turn the broom upside down, it's the round tree on top and there's a trunk below. It's more common, it's that one, it's what we see in nature. There's another style that's it's the sweeping wind, that's the tree, completely the trees, the branches go, all the branches go to one side, and it's like if there's a big fan pushing the branches that side. So bonsai, it's not an art that it looks like that, and we will never change. For example, most people don't like the sweeping wind style, and then after some years, oh, I don't like that one, I'm going to change it. And they, in the next transplant, the trunk, instead of being laid down, they put it up, and they do like this with wires. They push the branches down, they put it in a different position, and then suddenly it's another bonsai, it's another tree. So,
can you? You need to have the tree or the bonsai always on the same pot, or you really need in some time to change it for another one bigger? I don't know. Or you can have, for example, you have this one, or you can have like this bonsai for 10 years in the same size pot.
Depends on the species and depends on the style. The pot changes with the style. For some species, for some styles, we want the pot round, and others we want square or with the corners cut or whatever. It changes because we don't like the looks of that, so it changes.
Okay.
But if the tree grows, we need another pot. For example, let's say this was a tree, and it's a seedling and it's growing. In 1 year or 2 years, it's too big for the pot, so I need to change the pot. And all its life it will be like that, because the trunk is getting thicker, and because the trunk is getting thicker, it has less space. So this one had a pot like this in the beginning, but then I had to change because I need more roots to make this part look good and have an equilibrium on the tree. But it's not a question of years, it's a question of how the tree is growing. Sometimes this is all the nutrients the plant has during 4 or 5 years. After that, we have to put some fertilizers or we have to change the dirt. But when we are making the transplant, we will see a lot of roots. You will see one of the two videos ago, on my channel, I made the transplant of this one. So what you see here, it's very, very recent. And I had to cut a lot of roots because they were completely crossed. It was 6 years without being touched, so the roots grew everywhere. And it's not efficient, the trees growing crossed. So I had to plant it in a radial way. It's more efficient to absorb nutrients. So all the roots are combed like from the trunk out. They cannot go from here to here. They have to come out. So if I have a root that is too big, I have to cut it to fit the pot. But only if the root has feather roots. It's called feather roots. The smaller ones. Enough to do that. If it doesn't, I have to make a few tricks to keep the root healthier inside the pot. But I can get a bigger pot. But a bigger pot goes out of the way we see bonsai. Because I can have a pot, it's like the size of this table, and I have this bonsai on top of it. But we will see, and there's not an equilibrium in the way we see the bonsai and the pot.
And it will grow faster, right?
It will grow much faster. If I have a pot, it's the double of this one, it will grow twice as faster. It grows very slowly in a pot. But it's like if we take here and plant it in the ground, it will go a lot faster.
Yeah.
After 1 year it will go.
Yeah.
But there's a formula. And the formula is that it will be growing. So it depends on what we want. Sometimes we have a big tree in a small pot, because we want to shock people. When we go to expositions and contests, we can have a tree that it's almost 1 meter high. It's almost like this thick, and they put in a pot this small, this big, like this. And people say, oh, how does the tree will live like that? It doesn't. It's a trick. It will be only for the exposition, because if the tree is there, it will take you will have a lot more work in smaller pots than in bigger pots. This one is here because my respect for the tree is bigger, and so I know what it needs to be here. Because everywhere I show the tree, they tell me, no, the pot has to be smaller. No, it doesn't. I don't want it. It's my bonsai, so I know what bonsai needs. It needs to be here, so it grows, be healthy. I don't want problems like I had. And so I learned with my mistakes. That's one of the things I showed here. We are always learning, so we kind of have an agreement. I give you what you need, and you let me work with you until you look like what I want you to look. So, but it's almost impossible to say a bonsai how it will be looking, because we see a lot of people make some demonstrations and they change, they twist, they cut, and at the end, the people that are looking, they will see the bonsai and will say, "Oh, what a bonsai! It's very, very beautiful." But we will ask, okay, in 1 year I want to see that bonsai. They will never show it to you because it was too much for you. It's like that balance I was talking. We have to be careful, because if we exaggerate, we will kill the tree. So the pot, it's a little bit like that. We cannot exaggerate. We can take it to a demonstration and show it, because the roots were trained to do that. But then they get home, they remove the plant from that small pot, plant it in a bigger one, and they let it like that. There's going to be a contest in 2 years. Okay, the year before they started reducing the roots again, and they put it in the pot that's going to exposition 3-4 months before the exposition. It's like that. But the bigger pot, the better. But the aesthetics are important in bonsai. That's why it's called bonsai, because it's an equilibrium with what you see and what you get, what you can get there. So that's it.
So guys, just take one card on your way out, please.
Yeah.
And there's.
If you have any questions, go ahead, no problem. You have my WhatsApp. I always answer my WhatsApp more than I
And
use
check
my
YouTube channel with videos as well.
Yeah, my YouTube channel. It's completely free. So you need some information, you have there, no problem. You want to ask. The bigger ones have a little bit more information. That's what I do with my